dear Bess. Hello from stormy San Francisco. This time I'm staying in a beautiful Victorian mansion. You'd love the room I'm in. It's full of old Chinese furnishings and some interesting knickknacks. The owner of the house, Rose Green, is a friend of Hannah and asked me to come out and help her with some renovation work. She and her friend Abby hope to turn the place into a bed and breakfast by next month. But from what I gathered, Rose isn't sure if she can open in time. Ever since they started the renovations, they've had a lot of accidents. Could it be just bad luck, or is there something more sinister at work? I'm sure I'll find out. Love, Nancy. It's stuck.
Hello, Nancy. I see you've arrived safely from your long journey. But I'm sensing an aura of danger around you. I can tell you're an inquisitive type, a little skeptical, and that you don't believe in ghosts.
How do you know I don't believe in ghosts?
I know many things. I know how to communicate with the spirits, and I know things about people that they don't tell me. Call it intuition or ESP. The spirits in this house are interested in you, especially since you don't believe in them. Watch out. They may give you a rough time just to get your attention.
Does your intuition tell you who could be behind these recent accidents?
I'm not sure, but for some reason the name Valdez has a strong connection with this mansion.
Well, you'll be the first to know if I find a ghost floating over my bed.
Do you dare mock the supernatural? Just bear in mind what I've told you about this place. Spirits of the deceased can do unimaginable harm, especially to those who don't believe. Now, if you will please excuse me, I need to prepare myself for this evening. At that time, more will be revealed.
Hello, Nancy. I'm very glad you could come out here. We can really use your help, seeing how far we are behind schedule. Are you all ready to do some renovation work?
I sure am. This house must have quite a history. What do you know about it?
Not very much, but Abby found some interesting old papers that might give us clues about the history of the house. They're in the parlor if you want to take a peek. There's also an old-time saloon in the basement, so it's possible the house was once a hotel.
Last night, you mentioned some accidents. What exactly happened?
I don't know where to begin. It started out with some small but irritating things. But then the scaffolding collapsed, and just last week we had a gas leak. I really don't know whether I can stand much more of this. I would love to have a week without any accidents.
I can understand your frustration, Rose. Do you think it's just bad luck?
I'm not one to believe in bad luck, but it's been one thing after another. Maybe Charlie doesn't have the expertise for these renovations, but his rates are so affordable. I sometimes wonder, though, if this old house would be worth more burned to the ground. Enough chit-chat. Hannah tells me you're a real pro with puzzles. Take a look in the corner. Those wood tiles should fit inside the inlay pattern of the floor. Abby and I tried for hours, but it's just too complicated. I'm sorry for not introducing you around, but everyone posts their schedule here in the dining room. It's kind of like Command Central. Let me know how far you get with that puzzle. And thanks again for helping us, Nancy.
I did it!
How's that inlay puzzle coming along?
I finished it!
Wonderful! But now I've got something else for you. I set up a ladder upstairs so you can chip off the broken tiles on the hallway ceiling. You'll need to look around for a chisel or paint scraper for the job. I'm not sure where Charlie keeps them.
How did you meet Abby?
She was the drama coach back in River Heights, and we worked on a couple of plays together. My bid on this house was too low, so she pitched in her savings to help me get the place. If it weren't for Abby, I couldn't have afforded this place.
What is Abby planning for tonight?
She's putting on some kind of seance tonight to contact these ghosts or whatever she thinks is causing all of these accidents.
I can see you're busy. I'll let you go.
Bye, Nancy.
Hi, you must be Nancy. My name's Charlie.
Nice to meet you. Rose and Abby really have their hands full with this house.
Yeah, most of these Victorian mansions need a lot of work, but I don't mind getting my hands dirty, you know? This place will look great once it's finished.
Do you think you'll be open in time with all of these accidents and delays?
Yeah. Well, now that you're here, sure.
You don't sound convinced.
No, I am. I know Rose is all concerned, but you've got to expect a few things to get out of control with these big projects. Accidents happen, you know?
Sure, but why so many?
I have no idea. People are blaming me, but it's not my fault. I know what I'm doing. I know how to do this work. Listen, Nancy, I really need to get back to work. I'm repairing some floorboards, so be careful walking around. Rose was looking for you earlier. Maybe she has something for you to do. See ya.
It's stuck. I should wait until he leaves. It's missing an eye.
I see you.
It's locked.
How are the tiles coming along?
I'm all finished, but you should know what I found.
I'm sure it's very interesting, but unless it's really important, I've got other things to worry about. Let's see. If you're any good at fixing things, there's a dumbwaiter in the hallway that's not working.
I can see you're busy. I'll let you go.
Don't work too hard. Hello.
How did you find Charlie?
He just showed up one day. It was really odd. I remember Abby and I were in the basement talking about hiring someone to help us. 20 minutes later, the doorbell rang and there stood Charlie. looking for work.
I can see you're busy. I'll let you go.
Bye, Nancy.
It's good to know it. It's stuck.
Drew Residence, Hannah Groon speaking.
Hi, Hannah.
Nancy, how are you? And how's Rose?
Great. I'm really glad you had Rose invite me out here. Her house is so beautiful.
I'm so happy you're out there. But I'm worried about all the accidents she's having. There's just been so many.
What has Rose said about them?
She doesn't say much, but I know they've become worse and worse. That's one of the reasons why I asked you to visit her, to see if everything is all right.
Do you suspect there's something more to these accidents?
I don't know. Rose is under a lot of pressure to open that bread and breakfast on time, and I'm worried that it may be too much for her.
I imagine the mansion was very expensive.
Rose spent her entire life savings on the house. If this doesn't work out, she won't have 30 more years to earn the money back. Well, I should let you get back to your renovation work. Thank you for calling. There's probably no reason for concern. But be on the lookout for anything unusual. Goodbye, dear.
Hello?
Hi, Bess. It's Nancy.
Hi, Nancy. George is here. Let me put her on the speakerphone.
Nancy?
Hi, George.
Hey, what's up?
I'm in San Francisco, helping a friend of Hannah's renovate an old Victorian mansion. She wants to open up a bed and breakfast. Unfortunately, some strange accidents have delayed the project.
Uh-oh.
Well, get this. One of the owners, Abby, thinks the place is haunted by a ghost named Valdez.
A ghost? Well, I'm glad I'm not out there.
Sounds like another case is in the works.
So tell us more about what's been going on.
Do you know anything about the house's history?
I met the resident handyman, Charlie. He's pretty young, and I don't think he has much experience.
Maybe he doesn't charge very much, so he's probably a good bargain for Rose.
Or maybe he's just cute.
Bess, is that all you can think about?
No.
I should get going. Talk to you later.
Bye, Nancy!
This is Emily.
Hi, Emily. It's Nancy Drew.
Nancy Drew? I haven't heard from you in ages. How's Hannah in River Heights? You're not in San Francisco, are you, my dear?
I sure am. I'm staying with Rose Green, a friend of Hannah's, in a Victorian mansion. I'm helping out with renovations.
You know, you're lucky you caught me at home. I've been traveling most of these days, but after that crazy tour of Egypt. By the way, riding a camel is not as easy as it looks. My editor gave me an assignment right here in town. It'll be on the Dragons of San Francisco.
Dragons of San Francisco sounds exotic. What kind of dragons are you researching?
Chinese dragons. My editor thought this would make a great topic for a photo essay. The dragon is a very important symbol in Chinese culture.
So it seems. My room is full of Chinese decorations.
Oh, sure. Many of the Victorians have rooms with themes, usually colors or cultures. I once spent a night in a Victorian where each room had a bird theme. Don't laugh, but I stayed in the nuthatch room.
You're kidding. Why do they call these mansions Victorians?
They're named after Queen Victoria, who pretty much defined high society in the late 1800s. After the gold rush, San Francisco had a building boom, but most of the great Victorian mansions weren't built until the late 1800s. Nowadays, it's very popular to convert them into bed and breakfasts.
Were many of these mansions destroyed by earthquakes?
Oh, yes. Many of the early Victorians were destroyed in the fires after the Great Earthquake in 1906. It's often quite difficult to find out about a house's history before that time. Oh dear, am I talking too much? I get so distracted at times I tend to get carried away a bit. So how are you, Nancy? Why did you call? Is there anything I can help you out with?
Can you tell me about the Chinese writing system? I seem to come across a lot of Chinese symbols.
Oh, it doesn't surprise me. The Chinese have been an important part of San Francisco history for over 100 years. The symbols are called Hanzi, and each one represents a particular thing, or an idea, or an action. You find them all over on business cards, takeout cartons, artwork.
I found some old papers in the house, plus a page from a phone directory dated 1894.
Oh, that sounds valuable. It's hard to find old documents like that before 1906.
Have you heard of an actress, Lizzie Applegate?
Oh, sure. She was a good friend of Lotta Crabtree, another popular actress in the late 1800s. As I recall, she opened up a big hotel. What was it called? The Hotel Mandrake or the Oriental? I forget.
Was it in this neighborhood? Is it still around?
Oh, no. This one was downtown. It was very big, but I think it burned down.
Have you ever come across hidden rooms in Victorian mansions?
No. But I've read that many houses were only partially rebuilt after the Great Earthquake, closing off damaged rooms from the rest of the house.
Do you know anything about Valdez?
I don't think so.
I should get going. Goodbye, Emily.
Goodbye, Nancy.
Hello. I was so wrapped up in my book, I didn't hear you come in. My name is Lewis Chandler.
Pleased to meet you. My name is Nancy Drew. Are you a friend of Rose?
Yes, I'd like to think so, but I'm an antique dealer, and a client told me that Rose and Abby had recently acquired the estate. I'm an authority on the Victorian era, so they were only too happy to let me use the library in exchange for my advice on the renovations.
You must know a lot about the house's history.
Actually, I'm a bit in the dark about this particular property. However, as far as Victorian mansions go, I don't see anything remarkable about this one.
What are you using the library for?
Research. This library contains many rare books and documents that predate the Great Earthquake. It was quite a find for a student of the Victorian period, such as myself.
What are you looking for in these books?
I'm sorry, but I'm quite busy at the moment, and although I'd like to talk, I really don't have the time. Please, excuse me.
The spirits wish to speak to you, Nancy. Tonight, I will channel their energies to deliver a message. Meet me down in the basement, if you dare. Please sit down.
We really don't have time for this.
Let us begin. We are gathered here tonight to contact the shades of those who have passed before us. Gaze into the crystal ball. It will answer all of our questions. What's that?
Who has called me forth from the great beyond?
We have. Are you the spirit known as Valdez?
I was once called that in the world of the living.
Are you the spirit who has caused these accidents?
I have come back searching for her, my wife. Where can she be?
The spirits have spoken. The seance is over.
We've got a busy day tomorrow, and no more time for these games, Abby. And make sure you blow out the candles on your way up. I don't want to wake up and find the house on fire.
It's stuck. Is there more to this music than what I'm seeing?
I hope you're convinced now that the spirits are with us. These ghosts are here to stay.
I'm convinced that this house is haunted. I'm just not sure who is responsible.
Isn't it obvious? Senor Valdez and his wife, long-lost soulmates wandering aimlessly in the netherworld, returning to this house to search for each other. I only hope that one day I will be able to reunite them so that they may find peace.
I found out how you rigged the seance table with a projector. That was a pretty good show you gave.
Okay, so I staged part of the seance, but that still doesn't mean this place isn't haunted. Seances were very popular during the Victorian era, and I plan to entertain our guests with them. It'll be a great way to promote the place.
Have you been creating these accidents to help your promotion?
Of course not. I've had nothing to do with these accidents. They cost us both time and money. If you want to find out who's behind the accidents, ask our resident handyman.
Do you mean Charlie?
Ugh, it's clear to me that Charlie's totally responsible for the accidents. Who else could it have been? He's a really nice kid, but he has no idea what he's doing. Unfortunately, Rose doesn't want to fire him. And there's something suspicious about him.
What do you mean?
The other day, I was down in the basement working for over an hour, and suddenly he sneaks up on me. I bet he was down there the whole time, watching me.
Do you know much about Louis? It must be great having your own expert on Victorians.
He owns Chandler Interiors, a very reputable antique store. I'm sure his clients will be quite interested in our bed and breakfast once they hear about our resident ghost.
How long have you known Rose?
A couple of years. She has good business sense, but I think she needs to think more about advertising. Otherwise, we're just like all the other B&Bs in this town, and believe me, there's plenty of them.
I saw those papers in the parlor. Where did you find them?
Right in my room. They're so vintage. I'm going to ask Louis if he can get me some antique frames for them. Rose and I can use the letters in our historical display.
Was there anything about the house in them?
I don't think so. I really didn't go through them that much. I did find this old picture of a woman dressed in men's clothing. I think it was taken in the entryway by the staircase. I sent it to a photographer to have it restored.
Was there anything else in the photograph that was odd?
I don't remember anything else.
I heard someone crying in the hallway. Was that you?
I told you the spirits were interested in you. Was it a woman crying?
Yes, it was. How did you know?
It must be one of our phantom residents.
Do you know who this phantom could be?
Well, it wasn't me crying out there.
I'll let you get back to what you were doing.
See you later.
Where did Abby find those papers that are in the parlor?
She told me they were in her room, which surprised me since it was completely empty when we moved in. Now the room you're staying in was crammed with furniture. I think most of it was original with the house.
How do you know Louis?
He stopped by one day to introduce himself. He seemed awfully curious about our property, but he's an antique dealer specializing in the Victorian period. He's been extremely helpful advising us on authentic decor.
Have you heard of someone named Lizzie Applegate?
No, I haven't.
I can see you're busy. I'll let you go.
Bye, Nancy.
Hey Nancy, I see you survived Abby's seance. Man, that Valdez guy sure sounded creepy.
I guess. Were you down here then? I don't remember seeing you.
Rose told me all about it. So how are things coming along? Anything I can help you out with?
Have you met Louis Chandler? What do you know about him?
He's an antique dealer, I think. I guess he does consulting work for Rose, like on Victorian furnishings and stuff.
Can you tell me more about the accidents?
I'd really rather not talk about that right now.
Have you ever heard of someone named Valdez?
I've heard of a Diego Valdez. He was a wealthy rancher who lived in the 1800s. Yeah, I just read a book on him for my history class.
Did he have any children?
No, he was sort of a hermit and never married. But he was extremely generous. He gave away thousands of dollars.
How do you like working for Abby?
She's not bad. She can be a little weird. I think she gets on Rose's nerves sometimes.
Abby thinks the house is haunted. Do you?
I'm not sure. Let's just say I wouldn't rule it out. But that's Abby's department, not mine.
How does Abby get on Rose's nerves?
She always does a disappearing act whenever Rose needs her to do some work. And I think Rose is sort of hatty, you know?
I'll let you get back to your renovation.
Hasta la pasta.
It won't fit. It won't fit. It won't fit.
Aha! That's it!
Louis, are you in there?
I'll be right there.
Drew residence, Hannah Groon speaking.
Hi, Hannah.
Hi, Nancy.
Abby is very strange. She really is convinced there's a ghost somewhere in the house.
I don't know Abby very well, but I never felt comfortable with her. I can't put my finger on it, but she just seemed, well, I don't know, like she wasn't who she really was, like she was putting on an act.
Do you think Rose should be concerned about Abby?
Oh, no, I didn't mean it in a bad sense. Abby has always been very helpful to Rose, and they've always gotten along very well.
I met Rose's handyman, Charlie. He seems nice.
Rose told me he's a fine young fellow, but a little rough around the edges. I believe she said he's studying history at a community college.
Has Rose said anything about him and the accidents?
Nothing particular. I know she's concerned that Charlie may have inadvertently caused some of them, but she doesn't think it was intentional.
Did you know Rose has a resident expert on Victorians?
Oh, yes, Rose has mentioned Lewis several times. She's really fond of him and is very grateful for his help.
Oh? Is there more between them than what I'm seeing?
Oh, no, they're not dating or anything, but I can tell Rose likes him very much.
Have you heard about the seance Abby hosted for Rose and me?
Seance? Good heavens.
Has Rose ever mentioned someone by the name of Valdez?
No, she never mentioned the name.
Abby faked the seance. She rigged a table with a projector.
Well, you didn't think it was for real, did you? Don't worry, Rose, about this. She has enough on her mind already. I just can't imagine why Abby would go to all that trouble.
I just found a hidden attic. I wonder if it has anything to do with all these accidents.
Perhaps it does. Nancy, keep this a secret until you get to the bottom of these strange events. Don't even tell Rose. The less everyone knows, the more you can investigate without creating suspicion.
Lewis is up to something. I saw him take a book from the library.
That doesn't sound very suspicious. What was the book about?
Lewis's book mentioned that this house was once called Gumbo Foo in the 1800s.
That's nice, dear. I have no idea what that means. But give Emily a call. She knows all about San Francisco legends.
I should get back to work. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
This is Bess.
And George.
Hello, you two.
Hi, Nancy. How are you?
Listen to this. I found a secret attic and an old desk. It looks like no one's been in there for years.
There's probably a lot of clues about the house in there.
Oh, what was in the desk?
An old playbill for a musical called The Bandit's Treasure.
The Bandit's Treasure? Maybe there is treasure in the house.
I found some letters written by E. Valdez. I guess he was the owner of a hotel named the Golden Gardenia.
Valdez.
Golden gardenias? I thought they were all white.
That's it. Don't you see? The hotel has gold hidden in it, and Valdez is watching over it.
I don't think so, Bess.
Abby hosted a seance and contacted the spirit who's haunting the house.
Did you actually see the ghost?
Yeah, right. I'm sure it was some kind of trick.
Abby sounds suspicious.
Yeah, maybe she's hiding something. She probably knows more about the house than she's admitting.
Do either of you know what Gumbo Foo means?
It sounds Chinese.
Call Emily. She'll know.
I should get going. Talk to you later.
Bye, Nancy.
Bye.
Emily Foxworth speaking.
Hello, it's Nancy Drew.
Hi, Nancy. How's your case coming along?
What do you know about the Bandit's Treasure?
Bandit's Treasure? Oh, you mean the play. The Rep did a season where they performed old local plays, including the Bandit's Treasure. I've never seen it, but I hear the music is fantastic.
Have you heard of an antique dealer named Louis Chandler?
Nope, never heard of him.
Do you know what the words Gumbo Foo mean?
Sounds Chinese to me. Why don't you ask everyone what they think it means? It may have something to do with the house. In the meantime, I'll ask my friends about it. Gumbo Foo.
Do you know where Yerba Buena town is?
That's what San Francisco was called back during the Spanish colonial period, but no one calls it that anymore.
Tell me about the Spanish and San Francisco.
Oh, you could write a book on that. The Spanish were the first Europeans to settle this area during the 1700s, and it stayed that way until after the Mexican-American War when it was handed over to the United States. It couldn't have happened at a better time because gold was discovered outside the city not more than 2 years later.
With all of that gold around, I'd imagine there's a lot of buried treasure in this town.
Yeah, you'd think that, but I've never heard of any in San Francisco, except for Treasure Island out in the bay. But that's named after the book, not some legend.
I should get going. Goodbye, Emily.
Goodbye, Nancy.
Hello.
Do you think Charlie is responsible for these accidents?
Abby thinks he is, but I'm not sure. I really trust in him, and I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt.
Does Charlie live around here?
He told me he just moved here from Iowa, but doesn't have a place of his own yet. He said he's staying with friends.
Do you know what Gumbo Foo means?
No, not that I can remember.
I can see you're busy. I'll let you go.
Bye, Nancy.
Hi, Nancy. What's up?
Had you come across any hidden passageways down here?
You mean like a trapdoor leading to a room with skeletons or something? No, I haven't.
Do you know what the words Gumbo Foo mean?
I'm not sure. I've never heard that before.
I'll let you get back to your renovation.
See ya.
Hi, Nancy.
Do you know what Gumbo Foo means?
Gumbo Foo? I love gumbo. What kind of gumbo is Gumbo Foo?
I'll let you get back to what you were doing.
Have a celestial day.
It's locked. It's stuck.
Hello, Nancy.
I was wondering whether you knew anything about someone named E. Valdez.
E. Valdez. No, I've never heard of that name. But I'll jot it down and let you know if I come across it anywhere.
What kind of antique store do you own?
It's a gallery, not a store. And it's called Chandler Interiors, specializing in the Victorian period. I have clients from all over the world, and if I don't have what they're looking for, I find it.
Was this house once a hotel?
That's hard to say. The house has been renovated many times, but several of its original features, such as the saloon and staircase, seem to indicate that it may have been a hotel. Unfortunately, there are no records on this house before 1906.
Do you know what gumbo fu means?
Where did you hear that?
I read about it in a magazine.
I see. As I recall, it means House of Great Books. After the Great Earthquake, many books and documents were stored in private homes to save them from the fires. The Chinese called those houses gumbo fu.
Do you know who Lizzie Applegate was?
Yes, I certainly do. She was a very popular actress in the late 1800s. She was very generous and left all of her money to the Ladies' Protection Society.
What was the Ladies' Protection Society?
A popular charity in the early 1900s. They helped widows and orphans.
Do you think Charlie is doing a good job?
Certainly. He's rough around the edges, but he's reliable and learns very quickly. He's just what Rose and I need.
I won't keep you any longer.
Nice to see you again.
I see you.
Who has called me forth from the great beyond?
I'm glad you dropped by. You know, I wanted to tell you that you'll be alone in the house for a while. Everyone is going to the Winter Festival, and Charlie's studying for finals. I also took down one of the tapestries in your room for dry cleaning, and what was the other thing? Oh, a messenger dropped off a letter for you. I put it in your room.
I can see you're busy. I'll let you go.
So long.
It's stuck. It's so dark in here. Fire!
I talked to everybody in the house, and none of them can figure out what caused the fire. Maybe I should take Lewis's advice and cut my losses before it's too late.
What advice?
He has a client who might want to buy the place. Someone with more experience and money to finish all of the renovations.
What did the fire department say?
They think the fire was caused by sparks from the fireplace, since it doesn't have a screen. And I specifically told Charlie to buy one. How could he have forgotten? No, I am bound and determined to stick with this house no matter what. Nothing can drive me away. I don't care if it's fires, earthquakes, or Mr. Valdez with his gang of ghosts.
Excuse me for prying, but why did you spend so much money to insure the house against fire?
For protection. I've put my entire life savings into this house, and if it goes up in smoke, I'll lose everything.
I can see you're busy. I'll let you go.
Bye.
Hey, Nancy. Hey, there's been another accident. You've got to believe me, I didn't have anything to do with it. I just hope Rose doesn't blame me for this one.
Rose mentioned the fire screen you were supposed to get.
But I did buy it. Lewis told me that it was the wrong type and said he'd get another one, so I returned it.
And that's all there is to it?
Everyone thinks I'm causing these accidents because I was always the last one there, but I had nothing to do with them. I can tell you this. There's something unusual going on in this house.
What makes you say that?
I'd better not say any more. Sorry.
Charlie, I know your secret. I know you're living in the hidden room behind the saloon.
Please don't tell Rose. I have no place to stay.
Why do you live in there?
I was homeless, camping out in parks. One day I was looking for a place to get out of the rain, so I ducked under some bushes and found this hidden panel that led to the secret room. Nancy, I didn't mean any harm. I just needed a place to live.
I really think you should tell Rose, but I'll keep your secret if you help me out.
It's a deal, and I will tell Rose. What do you need?
What other secrets do you know about this house?
I have seen some odd things down here, like Abby's seance.
Who was the last person you saw in the parlor before the fire?
I've been working mostly in the basement, but I think I saw Abby go through those papers right before the fire.
I'll let you get back to your renovation.
So long, and thanks, Nancy, for keeping my secret. I'll tell Rose.
Ah, Nancy, what a shame to have lost those papers. And to think that we almost lost the house. Rose is very fortunate to have you here.
Did you hear anything in the parlor before the fire started?
No, I'm afraid not. I'm somewhat isolated here. With these thick walls, I barely hear anything.
Were the papers very valuable?
Not for my purposes, no. But they must have had some sentimental value.
Do you know why the fireplace in the parlor didn't have a screen?
No, I don't. Now I remember. I was to purchase an antique fire screen, but never found a suitable match. I feel just terrible. I must apologize to Rose about this.
Do you think Rose should sell the house?
I leave that decision up to her. She's put an extraordinary amount of time and money into it, and I'm not sure if she can afford what it'll take to complete the renovations. But whatever her decision, I will assist her however I can.
I won't keep you any longer.
Good day.
Completely distracted by all of the spiritualism stuff. I think you were in the parlor, either burning candles or using that flash paper.
Well, excuse me for trying to find some ways to promote this place. It's good business sense.
Well, I guess we won't have to worry about advertising if the mansion burns down.
You've given up. You want the mansion to burn to the ground. That way you won't have to worry about losing your investment. You'll just collect the insurance.
How dare you? Are you accusing me of fraud?
I'm sorry, Rose. I don't know. It's just all these accidents and now this. I know you're dedicated to this house. I'm sorry for doubting you.
Let's just finish up these curtains. I think the stress of the last few weeks has finally gotten the better of us.
It stuck. Gold! And to think I was standing on it all along.
Ha 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 ha! Ah! Too bad no one will ever find out about it.
Louis?
I knew it! There must be over $1 million in here.
I've got to stop him before he gets away.
What? Hey! 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 Get me out of here!
Dear Bess, I'm just about finished with my renovation work and counting out all of those gold coins. Louis was behind all of the accidents, hoping to pressure Rose into selling the house so he could find the treasure himself. Although Rose and Abby may not have a legal right to the gold, the bank the coins were stolen from will still give them a reward for finding it. The house also has gotten a lot of publicity with all of the news stories, and the place is booked solid for the first month of its opening. I guess a haunted bed and breakfast with hidden treasures is all the rage these days, even if there are no such things as ghosts. I think. See you soon, Nancy.